Williams. William.
Yes,
William.
yeah.
William.
I am now two Williams.
Yeah,
Okay.
there are two Williams. Yeah, Williams. So my
There are now two
ongoing
of them.
problem with Final Fantasy VII remake, right? Because this is still a
Mm-hmm.
thing,
Yeah.
right? Right.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
stop talking about Final Fantasy VII remake in our spoiler cast at some point.
So at some point.
Yeah,
Not
at some
now, but at
not
some
not
point.
now at some point. But so my ongoing problem is that this game forces you to play it. There are so many fucking uh, fucking segment in this game where it just drags on for no fucking reason. For no fucking
Right, yeah,
reason.
you were
And
talking
it
about
just-
that earlier. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Sephiroth and
literally,
shit,
you know,
right?
so there was literally a fucking bad creative decision where I got out of a cutscene, right? So I had a cutscene talking to Aerith about the life planet or some fucking bullshit, right? So I go out
Yeah.
of the cutscene, right? I walk 3 steps into another cutscene.
Oh my god.
I was like, what the fuck was the point of this decision? Why can't you just transition me going from a cutscene to this cutscene? I was literally in a 2-minute conversation just so I could go to another, just to I can have like 2 seconds of walking around, just so they could be like, oh no, here's another cutscene. I was like, oh okay, wow, this is fucking worthless. Jesus Christ.
That kind of reminds me of like, well, not in the same sense, but like Metal Gear Solid 4 in particular actually did this, but then it's like it's what do you call it? Like at least with like in the beginning there's like a 10 12 like 15-minute cutscene of the opening, you know, where you get like Snake giving a bloody monologue, and then
Yeah.
you go to some gameplay, you get to collect some stuff. And it's like that's like at most when you find all that stuff is probably like a minute or two of gameplay. Then you crawl under the truck and then it's another cutscene. But in
Yeah.
that game, it at least has a decency to give you the option to skip the cutscene or not. But
Yeah.
what you're telling me, it doesn't let you do that at all.
No, you can skip cutscenes. So fortunately, you can skip cutscenes. But the problem is in this game, you can only skip the CG cutscenes. Even so, there are in-game dialogues that you can't skip for no fucking reasons. Literally, all the in-game dialogue could be skippable cutscenes, but no, they literally make you sit through these conversations. But fortunately, you can fast forward through these conversations, so you don't have to listen to them talk about the fucking hey, I need you to go find the missing children, Cloud. Except I could just speed up the dialogue, fortunately. But I'm really fucking annoyed how they couldn't make half of these dialogue that they have in the game. Nearly every dialogue in the game could be skippable cutscenes, because in the game there's fucking wayfinders, not wayfinders, there's blips on the map that tells you to where the fuck to go. So these cutscenes are fucking worthless. So also that was the worst part of this game. The game doesn't tell you you have a map, by the way. You know, I had to look up how to get the mini map on this game. The game doesn't start you off with the map. You
Oh,
literally
it
have
doesn't
to.
give you the map at all?
No, it gives you the map, but it doesn't tell you that there's a map. I had to look up, is there a fucking map in this game? Because this fucking game is just it's just a giant labyrinth of fucking, because you're in towns, but the way that these towns are segmented, they're literally elaborate, so you can't figure out shit where to go. I had to look up to see if there was a map in this game, and there is. You have to press L2 just to access the map that the game never tells you that you have. So I literally I literally spent like the first 3 hours of this game just fucking walking around because I couldn't figure out where the fuck to go, because this game because every section in this game looks the goddamn same.
So it literally just doesn't even give you a tutorial on how to get this
No,
stuff
it
at
doesn't
all?
give you a tutorial about it. It just says, hey, it literally tells you, hey, here's the, you're in the fucking slums. Oh, wait, I was like, then it doesn't fucking tell you that there's a map. I literally had to look up to figure out the goddamn map of this goddamn game. It's really fucking annoying. And the fact that there's also fucking awkward section in this game where you can only walk for no fucking reason. It literally makes you walk because you have the option to run in the overworld, right? But the game makes it so that during these segments where for no reason you can only walk. They're like these fucking dialogue where they're talking, but for some reason they can't allow you to run, even though normally you can run in these sections. But no, they're like, no, you can only walk while these character talks about the planet and saving missing children, right? I was like, okay. So then it just drags on because of that, and I'm so annoyed. There's literally so many sections where the game just literally forces you to be like, oh hey, you're still playing Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, you're gonna continue playing. Like there's so many ways that this game could just be sped up. Like I'm not speedrunning this game, right? But I'm like, but I don't want my time to be wasted. But there's so many sections where it's just literally wasting your time in this game for no reason. Like it doesn't value your time. It just be like, please continue playing Final Fantasy VII. Please give us a reason to have this game be worth the $60 that you pay for this fucking game. It's so goddamn annoying, honestly.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're going through a fucking tough time.
Yeah, William. Some would say I'm going to a virtual revolution.
Oh, what a segue. Wow. Okay. I mean,
William,
to be honest with the way you're discussing this game, it's more like a virtual de-evolution, is how
William,
I would say
William,
it.
so I have watched this movie twice, and the only thing
Yeah.
I got out of this movie is I kept thinking James Franco was in this movie.
Oh, God. How did you get James Franco in this at all?
The main character of this guy sounds like James Franco when you're not paying attention to this movie. I legitimately thought he was in this movie until I rewatched it when I first heard the voice. I legitimately thought James Franco was in this movie.
You know what? Fair. I did kind of turn my brain off as I was watching this movie.
Yeah.
It was.
And I legitimately thought James Franco was in this. Okay, William. So, William, I have watched this movie twice now, and I cannot explain to you what happens in this movie.
Well, don't worry. In this time, in our future, Austin, the internet can.
Oh, the internet can.
With the fucking synopsis, the plot synopsis
with
that
the
they
advent
provide
of
for us here.
Wikipedia.
Yeah, on Wikipedia.
With the advent of we now know the secrets of the world.
Pretty much. All right. So.
Hey,
okay.
we're talking about 2047 virtual revolution.
Well, it's actually known as just virtual revolution, but it's also known as 2047
But
virtual
the
revolution.
problem is we found this movie only as 2047. We didn't find this movie as 2047 as virtual revolution. That's the weird part about this movie.
Excuse me. The movie is honestly kind of sleep-inducing. I almost fell asleep when I was watching this movie.
I really don't know. I literally cannot remember anything about this except that this movie was Sword Art Online at some point.
Right, and so also all those segments just annoyed the shit out of me. There's no point to them at all. But anyway,
we gotta let people know that they live in the future. This is the future.
Yeah, sure. That's a wonderful future. Yeah, whatever.
Future.
Let me just get. Okay, I'm gonna get to the plot synopsis, and then we can shit on this movie. Okay.
Okay. Then we can discuss this movie.
Okay. In the year 2047, more than 75% of the population, known as the connected, spend the majority of their lives living in online virtual games called verses. As universes, you just take the verses out. That's how I would call it.
Yeah.
And so, the world is dominated by few corporations and politicians are happy to keep the masses docile through online games. After 148 gamers are killed in a computer virus attack perpetuated by terrorist group necromancers.
Oh, what was that thing?
They were called necromancers. It's as dumb as it sounds. Shadow Agent Nash is hired by Centurnus Corporation operative Dina to track and eliminate the attackers. Nash is a hybrid, spending half the time online and half in the real world. That's really what they're calling him, a hybrid? I mean, just call him a guy who just, actually spends his time outside or something.
Just call him a hybrid? Just call him an essential worker, as some people would say.
Oh my god.
Hey, coronavirus is still a thing, by the way.
That's our COVID insert of the day.
Yeah, that's how we're gonna let people know coronavirus is still a thing.
Okay, so he is haunted by the death of his love Helena in a virus attack a few years back. Nash takes the help of a hacker, Morel, Helena's brother, to hack security video from Interpol servers. Meanwhile, Centurnus covers up the attack to avoid any involvement of Interpol. Nash infiltrates the Necromancer's cell by taking over online avatar of one of their members.
That's who that guy he killed was. Okay, that makes sense.
I know.
Now. That makes sense now. I just thought he just killed a random guy.
I knew this happened. At this point, I didn't turn my brain off, Austin.
Okay.
At this point, I didn't turn off my brain.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
There, he learns that the goal of necromancers is to break people out of virtual reality by any means. Hacking attempts of Morel draws the attention of Interpol. This leads to Interpol intimidating him. Nash is ambushed at his flat by Camille, leader of necromancers. She tells him that Centurnus Corporation, excuse me for messing that shit up, is responsible for the death of Helena, as they first developed the virus capable of killing players while online. Camille asks Nash to help in her plan to free everyone by helping in inserting the virus to a server at Centurnus headquarters. This virus will systematically shut down all the verse, forcing people to confront the real world.
Oh
Nash
no, not the
contemplates
real
whether
world.
Nash contemplates whether it is wise to force the unwilling populace into freedom. Okay. The sentencing
Well,
here
this is
for
just
this
one
movie.
paragraph.
I know, but you like the sentencing just really irks me because it's just like it's not spelled. It's like it's not written properly, at least in my sense.
Look, I don't think this page for 2047 is held up to the Wikipedia page of standards. All right.
Okay, let me. Okay, a furious mob of disconnected people lynches the necromancers. They don't lynch anyone. I mean, they kill them, but they don't lynch. That's, yeah, Dina severs all the ties between Saturnus and Nash on account of his betrayal. She also claims that he was misled and the virus that killed Helena was indeed launched by necromancers and that Helena was a mole of Saturnus inside the necromancers. He doesn't know which version to believe. To escape his painful memories, Nash becomes connected using his fortune to add features and comforts to his online avatar. He reasons that since his brain can't distinguish between real and virtual, the online life is as good as real.
Oh yes, just like current events.
It's missing. It's at least from what I'm hearing, it's actually missing the part where Interpol confronts Nash, and it's just like.
Wait! You should update the Wikipedia page for this.
Dude, look. If I have to, I would have to watch the movie again, and then I want to watch the movie again.
Look. I don't think anyone has ever watched this movie 3 times. All right.
I mean, it has been seen at a film festival.
Oh, okay, but have people watched it more than 2 times? That's the main question right now.
More than 2 times. You're probably the closest person who has watched it more than once.
You're right.
To be honest with you,
I did watch this movie twice, and I still didn't know what happened. Well, I think this movie would have been better if they actually just got James Franco in this movie. He'll be in anything. He'll be in any movie. Apparently, you give James Franco, he'll be in any movie for you.
God, there's some. It's like, the mood is sort of okay, you know.
Oh, by the way, William, in case you couldn't tell, my only joke for this movie is James Franco.
I can see that.
That's how little I know of this movie, and I watched it twice.
So it's interesting because it's like this movie has something of an interesting premise in the fact that you got a dystopian future,
basically every cyberpunk
cyberpunk film or concept
media,
at all.
Yeah.
And it's like where you get it's literally 75% of the population decided to just stay on the internet and never go back outside, you know, which is like today because we're more forced into it, but you know it's like today.
Yeah.
Oh god. But it's like they don't really. It's not really. There's not really much of a contemplation of what they're talking about. Like, oh, you know, you got people who are online and want to stay online. Is it right to to force these people to just like to take away their choice to actually go online and force them out into the real world or something like that? They kind of think about it for like a second or two, and it's just like, it's like, okay, whatever. There's like people who at the end there's those people who somehow find the necromancers. I don't recall. I think it was Morel that leaks like the location of the necromancer so they can stop it or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's just so like, and I guess they get like killed and stuff, and I guess that's like
they just get beat up. I remember that scene.
Yeah, it's so odd because like, okay, first of all, the action is like, it's not great, but like it feels like some like a college film in a sense. So
to be fair, this is an independent film. This is an independent
film. So I can't exactly blame him on that. You know, they do their best. The music's decent. It does well in giving off a cyberpunk mood or like something similar to Blade Runner. Blade Runner is the far superior soundtrack anyway, but
Blade Runner has actual movie. I know. Has actual money.
It has actual money, but
hey, you know what? I think Blade Runner would have been better if it had James Franco in it.
Oh my god, no, stop. I don't think he was even alive back then, right? No,
okay,
he wasn't.
Fine, Blade Runner 2047. Wait, no, not 2047. Fuck. What's the Blade Runner sequel?
Wasn't it 2049?
2049? Oh, hold on. Did this movie come out the same year as Blade Runner 2049?
No, I don't think so.
When did Blade Runner... 2017.
Let me look it up.
2017. This is pretty much the exact same.
It came out a year before. It came out a year before.
Okay, so hold on. So did Blade Runner 2049 steal the concept of 2047?
God, stop. Like hell. If anything, it's still its own concept from the original Blade Runner. Okay, that's what exactly what it did.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
but no, it's like the music's decent. It sets a mood. You get like they don't really do like they have some decent lighting. They don't really use colors a whole lot, which I would have appreciated more.
When
Like
this is a cyberpunk world, everything has to be dark and dark.
yeah, but it should have
Has to be
colors
dark
too
and brown.
that accentuate the darkness, like dark blue or dark purple or whatever the fuck, to give a mood.
Yeah.
Which they don't really do that, and so you get like okay CGI. The blood effects are they're fake as hell. You can tell,
Yeah.
but it's like I didn't mind it too much. They didn't have a lot of action, in all honesty. It's just that the plot's kind of odd. Because in most cases it kind of it indulges itself too much in the CGI when they actually use it, like
Wait,
when,
I didn't even realize they were using CGI in this movie. To be honest, I'm
yeah,
not
it's
gonna.
like yeah, but it's like they use a lot of CGI in like the whole in the video game sections, and then it's like
Oh,
that's where they
you mean when they went to Middle Earth?
yeah, when they went to Middle Earth, when they did the sci-fi thing and all that stuff.
Wait,
And it's like
I only saw one world in this movie, and that was the Middle Earth world, because that was the first thing you see in this movie and the last thing.
God, no, and it's just like because of that, it's like they indulge too much on the action when really they really should have just focused on the contemplation of the premise that they were talking about. But it's kind of like even if they didn't know how to end it except to do it in one way, which was how like the whole the mob lynching the necromancers.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's in something like this, you shouldn't be giving an answer. You should be giving a question. It's like, do people like if it's a choice? It's like, do people really want to be able to just leave? The internet if it's their choice at all.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I know like things are like in this world you basically get politicians and corporations basically happy that people aren't really interfering with whatever they're doing.
Yeah. So you do evil corporation stuff like in every cyberpunk
Right.
movie.
And so that's why you get people like the necromancers who are like, oh, but this is bad because they get to do whatever we want, and most of us can't do anything because most of us aren't focused on the real world.
Yeah.
We're just locked away in a fantasy that then and it's like it's going to be a very unhappy life for everyone if nobody gets up and actually does something about it. And then it's like you don't and then it's like then you get the questions like, but if it was their choice, is it right to take them out of it, even if it's to help if it's to help everyone? And then it's like they don't really talk about that question. They discuss it, right? And then and it's like, but it should be something that like we as an audience should be thinking about, and then we should be like, oh, maybe they have a point, or maybe this side has a point, or whatever. And then it's like, it doesn't. You don't get you. They don't really. They don't really give you a question. They give you an answer, but it doesn't. It feels like. It doesn't feel like. It doesn't feel like we should have been given this answer, and then the piece you get the main character who is let me look
James
up his
Franco.
name. Yeah, you get James Franco. Okay, you get James Franco.
Can we just call this guy James Franco?
Yeah, but you get James Franco, who's basically because you get like a discussion like which is also kind of bullshit. Because I will say this because like. The necromancer's like, oh, we didn't kill Helena. Centurnus did. And then it's like, after everything happens, then like, Dina, who's like okay with James Franco, right? Then she's like, okay, I would turn you in, but I won't turn you in because I think you're a cool guy, right? You have a cool voice, and so it's like.
To be fair, James Franco does have a cool voice.
He does have a cool voice, and so and then she's like, oh, why did you turn in the first place? If you did turn, right? That kind of thing. And then she's like, oh, Helena was killed by Centurnus. That's what the necromancers told me. And then it's like, you really gonna believe those fuckers? Really? She was working for us, dude. Just look at our records. And then he's like, he doesn't know what to believe. And then he's like, oh, you know what? Fuck that. I'm just gonna stay in online now because I don't know which version to believe. Everything's kind of painful to me now. And it's just like, are you trying to tell me that I should just stay online or something, or that like or people would just like prefer to ignore reality? Because that's like first of all, that's not true because there are people who are awake, and then it's like, but why give me this answer when there are things that kind of contradict that, you know? Because there are people who want to stay awake and be able to fight against corporations, as shown with the necromancers. There are corporations and the politicians who like to do whatever the fuck they want, awake. And it's just like,
oh, what the
I feel
fuck?
like this.
Did they change the Discord thing? Oh, Discord layout's so fucking weird.
Yeah, I know they do that sometimes.
They changed how you get tagged on Discord now. I don't like that. Okay. Anyway, yeah.
And the movie is more focused on its plot rather than the question that the plot's supposed to be like talking about or discussing or giving you something to think about. And it's just like, it's kind of boring too. Like a lot of it's rather static. The only time I get any real like range of emotion is from the hacker Morel, the Helena's brother in this case, when he was trying to like, when he's saying, I don't know, when he's like intimidated by the Interpol's agents, which was nice because like I was like, by this point my brain shut off, right? But then he starts acting and it's like, oh, whoa, okay, what's happening? What's going on? And I was like, oh, he's being intimidated by some thugs. So I was like, oh shit, he's emoting, he's fucking emoting, you know, that kind of thing. And it's just kind of like, that's all I get. I don't know. It's just like, it's just really like, for the slow pace that they had, they like, all the action is there to kind of break it apart. But then it's just like, I'm not interested in it at all because it's not really good action, and I'm not interested. And it's just like, whenever they do talk about the they talk about the plot rather than the question. It's just like, okay, just bring me to the next plot point. Just bring me there. But they don't really give me anything to like think about, you know. And I don't know. That's kind of my thing with it. It's just kind of boring and bleh and whatever. I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but yeah.
So normally this is where I would put my input about the plot, but seeing how I literally do not remember a single thing about this movie except for the fact that James Franco is not in this movie, right? Right. That is all I really want to say is that James Franco should have been in this movie.
Yeah, it's like you watched it twice. I watched it once, and I still don't know what this movie is trying to do for me, man. It's just kind of really boring, and I just
also I'm really disappointed that in the future people will want to live in the past. It was like, out of all fucking magic reality you want to go through Middle Earth. I was like, I'm not gonna kink shame you, but I guess Middle Earth is like the cheapest setting they could have filmed because they didn't want to spend money on any other scene. Like, I was hoping for at least for a cowboy world or something. I was hoping at least we see other virtual world to see why people want to live in these virtual life, right? Yeah. Because from what I remember, right, like as far as I saw, the world that they were living, like the real life world, seems pretty fun. There was nothing wrong with it, right? There was nothing wrong with the world with their real life world, right? Right? They didn't have coronavirus, right? That's the second plugin. Yeah. Like from what I could tell, like people, like there was nothing wrong with the real life world. Like they didn't explain why people prefer to live in the virtual world rather than real life. They just said that, oh yeah, people just do. But we don't get enough. From what I remember from watching this movie with James Franco, they don't give enough reason why. They just say, yeah, people just live there. But when you actually see the outside world, it just looks fine. Like
yeah, you see like all these flying cars flying everywhere. You see people in like maybe this in this district here, like that are just interacting with each other just fine.
Yeah,
and it's
there was nothing to show that there's no reason. But like, I mean, like, I understand that. Oh yeah, hey, you could be in a virtual world instead, like stuff like that. Like, yeah, but like from what I can tell, like the reason why people go to virtual world is to escape reality. But reality looks fine. Like everything looks fine. Like people could be within 6 feet of each other. I was like, oh man, I want to be within 6 feet of other people.
Oh, right. God. Yeah, it's rather telling that, you know, we've been in this lockdown for a while.
Yeah.
But that's also my thing. It's like they don't really show much of like what, like, you know, they say, oh yeah, corporations and politicians, like they're happy to keep people like, you know, asleep or in their online games, but it's like they don't really show what negative impacts that they are doing for the terrorist group, the necromancers, to kind of justify their actions.
Yeah.
And all honest, it's like what's also confusing is like they want to free people, And their idea to free people is by first killing them with a virus.
Wait.
Which is like
There'll be
so
freedom of
fucking
life.
odd.
There'll be
It
freedom of
doesn't
life.
make sense. I know,
There'll be
but it's
freedom of
like
life. The greatest releaser of pain.
it's so stupid. I'm like, okay, you have this
people
virus.
die when they are
this...
killed. Okay, just remember
okay,
that.
Okay, here's what I'm telling you. Because like the plot doesn't make sense at all either. Because then you got Centurnus who's like, oh yeah, they did develop this virus, and Dina says that yeah, we did develop this virus, but we never used it. and then it's like, the necromancers, they take the virus, modify it, and then use it to kill people. And it's like, oh, but we want to free people. Like, but why are you killing them like this in the first place? Why does this make any sense? What are you doing? If you were using it against the corporations and there was a corporate backlash or something like that, that would make much more sense. But why are you using it on the gamers who have nothing to do with it at all?
Yeah. Also,
like you don't want the corporations or like the politicians to do whatever bad shit you claim that they're doing. But why, then use it on them? Then I would be like, okay, yeah, it makes sense. Then that would make sense for why you get James Franco to come in and be able to be like, get funded with corporations and then see to stop them from doing it, right? Yeah. And then it's like, but why are you doing it on the gamers who literally have nothing to do? And you want to free these gamers, but why don't you just make the virus to make it so that and they do this, but it's later on in the movie to force them to have them forcibly logged off their accounts and then outside in the real world. But why did you use it to kill them in the first place? What's the point? All you do is make a trail of buyers to have the people follow you, and then it's like, why? Why? It's so dumb. That was my thing too. It's just like, why is this such a fucking thing?
Yeah. Also something else that I remember from now that we're talking about is that it's back to the corporation. Like, they don't explain why the corporation are evil, right?
Exactly.
Because in every cyberpunk movie we know corporations are evil. That's just the gimmick of every but at least in every cyberpunk movie we get to see them doing the evil stuff. Like from what I can tell, I don't understand how the politicians and corporations are benefiting from the gamers being in the virtual world. They're just saying, yeah, they're doing it. I was like, oh, okay, how are they doing it? Are the politicians using them to influence their vote or something? Or the corporation trying to sell these people something? Are they
doing some shady shit? And because everyone's off, not
are they selling?
Being able to watch it,
are they selling
online?
Their data? What? They just said no.
What's going on? What's happening?
Yeah.
Why should I care what they're doing if you don't show me what they're doing?
Why do gamers need to rise up all of a sudden?
Oh god, it's such a mess. This movie is but the thing is, it's as little a story as there is, we can tell, we can poke holes at it. We're doing that right now, and it's just it doesn't make sense. Oh my god, it's so annoying.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's just I don't care for this movie. It's just bland and boring. They have a mood and they have music. This movie just happened. It's just the actors don't for at least to me, it doesn't feel like the actors are really in it, except for Morale, and it's he's the character. And it's he has something that he gives off, and which is fine. But it's everyone's kind of rather static in their emotion. And then even when they try to emote, they don't really put they don't really put themselves into it, and it's just the CGI is okay. For an independent film, it's fine. But it's the story's a mess. It's it doesn't draw me in, and it's just I don't care for it. And for what little story that I do pay attention to, I can poke holes at it. Yeah. Especially when I was telling you about the whole, the gamers they are killed by a computer virus. It's why are they doing this? It's to free them. It's what the fuck? It's so annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll give it a rating right now because I don't care for this movie at all. It's 3-4 out of 10. Towards a 3, if anything.
Yeah. Look, if James Franco was in this movie, I would have given this movie a 6. But since the fact that James Franco is not in this movie, I'm gonna give it a lower rating. I'm gonna give it a not 6.
To be fair, Austin, if James Franco was in this movie, I feel it would have been a whole lot better.
Yeah, because James Franco can make any movie better, all right?
To be honest, yeah, he really could. But this movie
he's what saved Spider-Man 3, even though Spider-Man 3 was already a great film.
And that's the thing. It's this movie is just so bland. I don't. It's boring. I don't care for it. That's like probably one of the worst offenses a movie can ever do. Just make you bored and not care. Like a bad movie can at least make you care because it's still some shit, and you're like, God damn it, it could be better.
Yeah.
It could be good.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. It could.
Or you could get some entertainment value from it too.
It could be like The Mummy, but this movie is
yeah,
not
it could
The
be like The Mummy. It could be like The Mummy. I got pissed off at it because like it could have been good. And there's still some value in it because like the actors were at least doing something with it. And it's like fine, but it's even if the story is some shit. But it's like this movie is just kind of bland altogether.
Yeah,
and I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah, and not just to pad out the spoiler cast. Speaking of Spider-Man, real quick, and not for the fact that not just so we could date this spoiler cast of Sam Raimi being announced like he's directing directing Doctor Strange 2. Did you ever read that trivia about Spider-Man 2 about how the Punisher was in that movie?
There was?
Yeah.
What, he was? What?
Yeah, so I literally found this out by reading about random fucking Sam Raimi trivia. So in Spider-Man 2, right? So do you, I think it was Spider-Man 2. Do you remember when Gwen Stacy, was it Gwen Stacy?
That was if it was Gwen Stacy.
Mary Jane. No, I'm sorry. Mary Jane. Remember when she's running out from the wedding? You see her running through. So literally there's a scene in when she goes through the park, as she runs forward towards the camera, we see a guy turn around to look at her. That's the Punisher.
Really?
No, but here's the problem. Because around the same time when Spider-Man 2 came out, they released a Punisher movie, right? That starred Mark Wahlberg, I think, or some shit, right? Originally, they were supposed to get Mark Wahlberg to be in that role, but they couldn't get him, so they got his body double to be the Punisher for that cameo role, apparently.
That's interesting, actually.
Yeah, that's an actual thing. You can look this up. This is an actual movie trivia fact about how they were trying to give like a little Punisher shout out. Yeah, hold on. I'll send you the link for it after this, but that's all I wanted to say. just so I cannot pad this out, but just talk about the I'm sorry, not Mark Wahlberg, fucking Thomas Jane body double or some shit. Okay, there we go. The 2004 Punisher. Okay. All right, that was a thing.
But yeah, I'm done with this.
All right, that's it. Yeah, that's all I really have to say. This is probably the shortest spoiler cast we ever had. And it didn't help the fact that I spent 5 minutes of this spoiler cast ranting about Final Fantasy VII Remake, or the fact that I spent 3 minutes talking about the Punisher and Spider-Man.
God, dude. All right. Well, I guess that's it.
All right, wash your hands, people. Okay, thanks. Bye.